the reason we got into crypto, and we're all in on crypto, and we're doing American Bitcoin, and we have World Liberty Finance and USD1, was because there was a time, and probably I'd been on this show, where I could call any single banker in New York City. They'd pick up the phone. I'd be able to get a loan for whatever real estate project I was doing across the street. Then we got into politics, and all of a sudden, they wouldn't take your call. Right. You couldn't get financing. We were debanked. And what I realized, and my brother realized, because we were the recipients of every subpoena imaginable, was that, you know what, we were actually just the top of this sort of pyramid scheme that we didn't realize we were a part of, that the financial system was totally undemocratized. Because we had a certain balance sheet and whatever, we could kind of do whatever we wanted. The regular guy was messed up. Now we were all of a sudden in the shoes of the regular guy that wouldn't be able to take advantage of the markets. And we said, what's the solution for that? The answer is crypto. These decentralized platforms where you're not beholden to this, where you create efficiencies as
Donald Trump Jr.'s entry into the world of cryptocurrency didn't come from tech fascination or opportunistic investing. According to him, it came from necessity. As the Trump name became increasingly politicized, traditional financial institutions allegedly began shutting their doors, forcing the family to look elsewhere. And in that frustration, they say they found freedom in crypto. The story he tells is not just about money or markets. It's about power, disruption, and the belief that digital currency can upend the traditional systems that turned on them. This narrative of being shut out by banks becomes the launchpad for the Trump camp's full embrace of Bitcoin and blockchain finance.
So we got into crypto not because it was like, hey, this is the next cool thing. We got into it out of necessity. We got into it because we understood just how quickly we could be turned off, even as an incredible developer from New York City. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that we didn't change the skyline of New York City, but that disappeared in an instant. I mean, we're getting sued by New York State AG, $500 million fees for paying back loans on time with interest. These aren't, fair markets.
That sense of being suddenly unwelcome in familiar circles fueled a deeper questioning of the financial system. Trump Jr. paints himself and his family as victims of institutional overreach, an experience that gave them new sympathy for the regular guy who struggles to participate in the economy. In his view, crypto isn't just an investment vehicle, it's a lifeboat. The same banks that once empowered their empire could swiftly remove access. That realization, he says, led them to throw their weight behind decentralized systems as a bulwark against political retaliation.
So we actually, as innovators, as people who understand these things, we went all in on a concept that makes total sense because we'd actually been the recipient of how quickly that can be shut off. And so it actually makes total sense. The Trump organization isn't doing anything with foreign countries. The first time around in the administration, we actually stopped doing all foreign deals. And unlike the Bidens, we were actually doing international business before we got into politics.
My question, though.
But let me finish. We stopped doing those things, and the market still said, oh, they're profiteering off of this, they're doing that. We got zero credit. We shut down hundreds of millions of dollars of business to voluntarily just say, just in case. So now what we're going to do, we're going to play by all of the rules. We're going to do what we're allowed to do.
For Trump Jr., the embrace of crypto is presented as a cleaner, rule-abiding pivot away from foreign entanglements and business ambiguity. By halting international projects and shifting toward American-centered digital finance, he argues that the Trump camp sought to shed controversy and preempt criticism. Yet, as he points out, that didn't silence detractors. Even their self-imposed limits were met with suspicion, leaving them to conclude that no concession would ever earn mainstream approval. Crypto then became a tool to bypass the game entirely.
The reality of the Memecoin is it's sort of a proof of concept that the crypto world understands exactly what I was talking about earlier, that the markets may not necessarily be fair. The traditional banking system may not be fair to them. So it's a proof of concept of what I think we can move the needle in crypto. And I think that's going to be the future of finance. It's going to be the future of banking, almost without question, if we can accelerate that process by going all in on it.
Even controversial projects like Memecoins are defended as proof of concept, showcasing the crypto community's rejection of traditional market systems. Trump Jr. separates himself from involvement in specific coins, but supports their broader implications. In his eyes, Any experiment that chips away at established finance systems is a step forward. His message is clear: meme coins might be messy, but they're signs of an evolving financial rebellion.
What I hear from those people is like, thank you for doing this. You're giving us the legitimacy that we fought for so long. And this isn't just a conservative issue, Joe. I mean, these are highly libertarian people. This is actually one of those 50 million holders of some sort of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, stables, ETH, Sol, whatever it may be. There's 50 million in America, and they're not all right-wing. These are people who just believe in freedom.
Trump Jr. shifts the lens outward, suggesting that crypto unites a massive, ideologically diverse coalition. In this framing, digital assets are not partisan, they are populist. The 50 million Americans who own crypto are held up as freedom seekers rather than fringe actors, and by positioning his father as their champion, Trump Jr. reinforces the idea that this movement is about more than money. It's about reclaiming control from centralized powers.
Actually, I think the opposite. When you look at what's going on with so many of the stablecoins, and as you create utility and those things happen, what we're doing with USD1, it's literally one-to-one backed with the U.S. Treasuries. If you look at some of these big, stablecoins, they're literally some of the biggest buyers of U.S. Treasuries in the world, replacing a lot of the countries that would have been traditionally doing that. So if we want to keep borrowing and spending the way we do for some of these programs, I don't necessarily agree with all of that either. I think these stable coins are actually going to be the savior of dollar hegemony in the world, not a detractor from it. I think that goes without question.
The conversation takes a more economic turn here, with Trump Jr. arguing that stablecoins like USD1 don't threaten the dollar, they reinforce it. Unlike the typical crypto versus fiat dichotomy, he proposes a fusion where digital currencies support U.S. Treasury markets, even replacing foreign buyers. This narrative reimagines stablecoins not as subversive tools, but as financial instruments that serve America's global interests, provided they're controlled domestically.
If you look at even companies like Tether, I think they're the fourth largest holder of U.S. Treasuries in the world. What we're going to do with USD1, I mean, this is billions and billions of dollars of treasuries that other countries who have not necessarily been good actors or who have taken advantage of those things over the years have said they're going to back away from to try to create their own kind of currency, to eliminate sort of, the petrodollar, whatever it may be. I think stablecoins could be the savior of U.S. currency.
Here, Trump Jr. positions stablecoins as a counter to the erosion of the petrodollar. He argues that they may plug the gap left by foreign states distancing themselves from U.S. debt markets. In that scenario, stablecoins become geopolitical tools, preserving the dollar's dominance even as nations like China or Russia pursue alternatives. For Trump Jr., it's about using innovation to stay on top. In Donald Trump Jr.'s telling, Bitcoin and stablecoins aren't just financial tools. They're shields against political persecution, bridges to future finance, and potential saviors of American economic clout. From being debanked to becoming blockchain believers, the Trump family's crypto journey is framed as part necessity, part ideology, and part rebellion. For critics, this may raise as many questions as it answers, but for supporters, it's another chapter in their ongoing battle with the establishment.
Right? It's a market cycle. I get it. It's click-worthy. It's nonsense.
So what do you think? Can Trump's crypto crusade really revolutionize the system? Or is this just another market cycle wrapped in a political pitch? Let us know in the comments.